Long gone are the days when whispers of otherworldly entities have haunted our darkest corners. Prepare to witness the shadows and strange apparitions make themselves known, revealing the most terrifying paranormal activities ever recorded. Man, talk about a bad dream coming to life. This dude woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of a screeching noise. Definitely not what you want to hear in the quiet hours. At first he ignored it, but then it happened again. Grabbing his torch and camera, he started recording, and there it was. The door creaked open and shut on its own. At first it was slow, but then it got louder, and that's when he spotted it. A dark figure standing there in the doorway, staring right at him. He bolted into the covers like that was going to help. I mean, seriously, dude, not the best plan. The haunting bargain. Man, this guy thought he'd scored big with that cheap apartment, but then weird stuff started happening right from the get-go. Creepy child sounds, knocks coming from inside his own house. It was like something out of a horror movie. And then, one night, he saw a kid darting across his room. He was not imagining it. This stuff was real. So he grabbed his camera, hoping to catch something, and bam, there it was. A kid peeking from behind a door, just staring. But as soon as he got closer, poof, gone. Now he knows why the place was so cheap. Jackpot? More like a haunted nightmare. Midnight trick. Waking up to a knock on the door in the middle of the night is freaky enough on its own, right? But seeing this, in the middle of the night, pure nightmarish. This guy was half asleep, barely holding on to reality when he saw a strange woman at his door. So she was all, "Please let me in," and claiming she was hurt and lost her daughter. Classic story, but something just wasn't right.
Who are you?
Please let me in.
Huh? What's wrong with you?
Talk to my daughter.
Lurker?
Please.
The homeowner wasn't buying it, thank goodness. He didn't open that door, and thank the universe he didn't. Rumor has it, she wasn't a woman at all, but some creepy creature that could have taken his face, or worse, his soul. Now, that was a close call. I'm glad he dodged. Talk about a nightmare scenario.
Lurker?
Please let me inside.
Lurker?
Cursed doll.
How could I sound anything silly? I'm plastic.
Someone picked up this doll thinking it was just another cute little antique or maybe a thrift store find. No big deal. Well, come nightfall, the thing started talking. Yeah, you heard me. Talking. The guy, understandably freaked out, asks how it was even possible. And the doll, oh, it dropped this absolute nightmare fuel. I took the voice box from someone. I mean, what? Like, can you not? Turned out this doll didn't just talk, it stole voices from its owners. And let's just say they don't make it out alive. Who even knows how many voices it's collected by now? Would I keep that thing in my house? Absolutely not. Would you? Didn't think so.
I'm plastic. I don't even have a voice box. I had to borrow this one.
Haunted doll. Nope, I'm done with dolls after seeing this one. A man picked up some Halloween decorations for his house. Pretty harmless, right? Wrong. Among the creepy decor was this one doll, and let me tell you, it was nightmare fuel. It had this weird humanoid look that just felt off. But here's where it gets terrifying. When he turned to record it, the doll's eyes moved, like actually followed him, almost as if it was eyeing its next target. People online were losing it, saying it could be black magic or even a spirit trapped inside. Honestly, I'd have tossed it right out the window. What do you think? Paranormal or just a trick of the eyes? Red cloak. A woman in a red cloak hanging in a tree. Yeah, you heard that right. Just hanging there, staring. All that adventurous energy vanished in a second. He turned and ran. Honestly, same. You see something like that, you don't stick around to ask questions. What would you have done? Dark encounter. Late night study sessions are already creepy enough, but this university student got more than he bargained for. On his way home, somewhere within the campus grounds, he noticed something. A dark figure peeking out from behind a structure. You know that gut feeling you get when something's off? Yeah, that's probably what hit him. Curious but cautious, he pulled out his camera and zoomed in. Sure enough, the figure was watching him. And just as it noticed him noticing it, it backed off slowly, vanishing behind the wall. Smart guy though, he didn't stick around to investigate further. With rumors swirling about the place being haunted, heading home was the right move. Some questions are better left unanswered. Ghostly encounter. Alright, two girls were just hanging out at home, probably scrolling on their phones or talking about random stuff when one of them froze. She spotted something and not your average spooky shadow. Nope, it's the top half of a girl decked out in creepy old-fashioned Victorian clothes just floating there like she was auditioning for a horror movie. And get this, she was not just lurking, she actually leaned in like she was curious about what they were doing. I mean, what do you even do with that? Before they could process it, she vanished, only to reappear at the top of the stairs, staring down at them. At that point, they were gone. Wouldn't you be? Thought so? Hallway horror. Alright, imagine you just walking down a hallway thinking about your day when out of nowhere, bam, something unseen shoves you straight to the ground. That's exactly what happened to this poor guy, and the whole thing was caught on CCTV. The footage, man, it was terrifying. You see this dark, shadowy figure appeared, grabbed his leg, and dragged him down the hall. I mean, how do you even process that? Before he could react, the thing just vanished, leaving him scrambling to his feet. No waiting around. He bolted like his life depended on it, and honestly, maybe it did. Ghost or demon, who knows, but if that hallway's part of your commute, it's time to update the resume. Mental facility. This was seriously something out of a nightmare. A CCTV camera in a mental facility caught something super weird. A lady was sleeping peacefully on her bed, and everything seemed normal at first. But then we saw this twisted figure creeping around on the floor, almost like it was being controlled by something. Suddenly, a dark shape slipped into the lady's mouth, and that's when things got crazy. That creepy figure started running backward at breakneck speed, making this horrible noise, and then it lunged right at the camera before the footage cut out. Now, netizens claimed it could be a bad spirit trying to get into her body. They pointed out at that black thing going into her, but what's the reality? Well, it's still unknown, and I guess we may never know for sure. Haunted church.
Hello?
Let me tell you, this one's straight out of a horror movie. A group of friends thought it'd be fun to explore an abandoned church. You know, acting all tough, laughing, trying to scare each other. Classic. They checked it out, got bored, and left. End of story, right? Nope. One guy, armed with a camera and way too much courage, decided to head back alone. Just him and his flashlight. He wandered through the dark halls, and that's when he saw her. A nun in white sitting there, crying. He panicked and ran for his life.
Hello?
Days later, the guy tragically passed away. Coincidence? Feels like the church had the final say. Forest Witch. A Saudi police officer was driving down this creepy, quiet forest road. It was dark, and you just know something was off. Then he spotted her, a woman in white walking toward his car. At first he thinks, okay, maybe she needs help. But as he got closer, something about the way she moved was just wrong, like bone-chilling wrong. Then, as if things weren't bad enough, his car stalled. Seriously, of all times for that to happen. He was shouting, panicking, trying to figure out what's going on. And then she was there. Right in front of him. Some say it was a witch. Real or not, I'd be flooring it the second that car started again, wouldn't you? The Pale Transformation. Some nights just hit different, like this one. A mother went to check on her daughter, probably thinking it was just a routine glance. But as she lifted the blanket, she froze. Her daughter's face was changed. Ghostly pale skin, empty white eyes, and the child just sat there near the bed as if she'd been waiting. Now tell me, what would you even do in that moment? Some people think the girl was possessed by a wandering spirit drawn to her innocence. Others say a shadow from another world had taken her place like a sinister swap. Whatever it was, that sight would stick with you forever. I mean, how do you unsee something like that? Eyes below. I don't get why people explore abandoned places. Seriously, they're abandoned for a reason, right? This guy, though, decided to check out the drains under a forgotten settlement, and let's just say, big mistake. As he crept deeper, glowing eyes appeared in the dark. I'm talking multiple eyes. Spooked, he tried to escape, but instead he found himself surrounded. You could hear the fear in his voice, and man, that part gave me chills. Then the footage cut out. No one knows what happened next, but days later, his camera washed out of the drain. Him? Gone. Were the glowing eyes creatures? Spirits? Honestly, I don't know, but if you ask me, some mysteries are better left unexplored. The creeping shadow. Man, it's one of those stories that make you question every shadow you see. Here's this guy just chilling at home and bam! Out of nowhere, this huge creepy figure appeared in his bedroom. You can almost feel the chill go down his spine as he whipped around, the camera shaking in his hand. Then of course he was gotta be curious and went back to check. But poof, the thing was gone, vanished. Like, what was that? A shadow come to life or some kind of ghostly presence just messing with his head? No one knows for sure, but he's leaving those lights on from now on. Witch's grave. This is exactly why you don't mess with things you don't understand. Two guys, probably thinking it was just another spooky legend, went exploring a remote cave and stumbled across the hole. Locals had warned them it was the grave of a witch, but did they listen? Nope. They not only found it, but tried to open it. That's when things got real. Terrifying hands shot up from below, clawing to get out. The guys panicked, throwing some kind of powder, but it did nothing. Chaos erupted. The footage cuts off abruptly, leaving us to wonder, what happened to them? Did the witch get free? Whatever it was, they should have stayed far, far away. Invisible intruder.
I caught some footage that, quite frankly, has me a little spooked.
You know the saying, that you're never truly alone in the woods. That's what makes this story so unsettling. A guy, just out camping with his family, set up his trail cam hoping to catch some wildlife for his granddaughter to see. Instead, he caught something downright chilling, a figure that looked like an invisible man snooping around the campsite. Sounds wild, right? It wasn't a deer, it wasn't hikers, it was something else. And here's the kicker. Some people think it might have been a cloaking device, which honestly feels scarier than a ghost. Whatever it was, one thing's for sure. You'd think twice before camping in those woods again. Cave vision. This clip was uploaded by Jose Maria, who supposedly loved to go on hikes and caving adventures with a friend of his. That night, they were just on their way home from another caving trip, so while this was not technically captured inside the cave, it was still pretty close to the vicinity. The area around is said to be haunted since the dawn of time, and the young man's helmet camera might have captured a glimpse of that. There was a foreign statue wearing a black dress. Pretty strange, right? Also, something seemed to be wrong with this thing's face. It looked straight out of a nightmare. They had no explanation of what that could have been other than one of the lost souls that was set to roam this area, perhaps. Frozen Stair. In 2023, a man sitting by his window spotted something he'll never forget, an old woman standing in the bushes outside. Now at first you'd think she was just lost or confused, but no. Her face looked off, like something wasn't right, and her eyes locked into him, completely still, as if she was peering through him. She didn't move for minutes, just standing there, silent and staring, and honestly, that was way worse than screaming. Was she just an old lady in the wrong place, or was something darker pulling the strings? A spirit, a curse, or something straight from another world? I don't know about you, but I wouldn't stick around to find out. Phantom Guard. Okay, so check this out. A few years back at Hampton Court, the security alarm just started blaring out of nowhere. Naturally, the staff rushed over, expecting some glitch or maybe some joker pulling a prank. But when they get there, the fire doors were completely shut, locked tight. Weird, right? Well, hang on. It got so much creepier. They review the security footage and boom, there it was. A ghostly figure in medieval clothes. This thing pulled the doors shut with some serious force, then just vanished. And here's the kicker, it didn't just happen once. Nope, the same spooky figure showed up on camera 3 nights straight. No one saw it in person, and no other cameras picked up a thing. Coincidence? Yeah, I don't think so. The Cursed Doll. Some sounds, man, they're better left ignored. One night, this guy heard something strange coming from his basement. Most of us wouldn't even think about going down there, but curiosity got the best of him. In the dim, flickering light, he spotted an old doll lying on the ground. Innocent enough, right? Nah, that's when things got creepy. As he bent to pick it up, he turned slightly, and boom, there it was. A figure, ghostly pale, with long black hair hanging down and a face twisted beyond words. Some say the doll was cursed, like it held a trapped spirit. Others think he woke up something darker, something waiting. Either way, what he saw that night, it never left him. Shadow Lurker. This clip has the whole internet losing its mind, and I don't blame them, it was straight up nightmare fuel. A girl, clearly terrified, hid inside what looked like an abandoned house. But the real horror, a pale humanoid creature creeping nearby, moving with this unsettling, slow precision, like it was hunting. You could practically feel the dread through the screen. Somehow, she managed to stay quiet, blending into the shadows, but man, what was that thing? Some say it was just a prank or a film scene, but others were convinced this is proof of the rake, a creature said to hunt in the dark. Real or not, one thing's for sure, I wouldn't stick around to find out. Poong. Man, can you imagine coming home late after a rough day, just wanting to kick back and relax, then bam, a Poong appears in front of you. That's what happened to a local, and it was a pure nightmare material right there. A Poong is a ghostly figure in Indonesia and Malaysia wrapped in a burial shroud hopping around and symbolize an incomplete burial rite. And man, it was like something out of a horror movie. If I were in that guy's shoes, I don't even know what I'd do. Maybe try to run, but knowing me, I'd probably just freeze in place. But hey, if you've got any better ideas, hit me up in the comments. Red eyes. This clip from 2023 is the stuff nightmares are made of. An explorer with camera rolling walked into an abandoned site ready to document the eerie silence. But as he ventured further, he spotted something. A red glow cutting through the pitch black. Curious, he zoomed in and boom, there it was, a humanoid figure with glowing, pulsing red eyes. The thing was thin, twisted body moved unnaturally like it was trying to mimic human motion but getting it all wrong. The video blew up online with theories everywhere. Some swore it was a skinwalker or an ancient shapeshifter trying to lure victims. Whatever it was, one thing's clear. It was unnatural and I wouldn't go back. Tree Watcher. I'm not stepping outside after this. A local guy started hearing creepy noises outside his house in the dead of night, like the kind of sounds you should ignore. But curiosity got the better of him, so he grabbed his camera and headed out to investigate. What he captured? Man, it was terrifying. Sitting up in the trees was a humanoid creature with glowing eyes, just watching him. He zoomed in and there it was, unnatural, eerie, and downright chilling. People online were losing it. Some think it's a ghost, others swear it's something far more sinister. Honestly, I'd rather not stick around to find out. What do you think? Forest Stalker. Man, if there's one thing that'll freak you out, it's a clip like this one. It was from late at night, deep in some forest with not a single soul around, just a dude recording whatever reason he had. And out of nowhere, this thing just clinged to a tree like it was a part of the forest, you know? Creepy as hell with that brown-gray color and those glowing red eyes. Makes you wonder, was it some paranormal ghostly entity, a weird creature, or just some freaky thing no one could explain? Honestly, I wouldn't want to know the answer to that. It was just plain unsettling. Caged ritual. This one's the kind of story that sticks with you. A girl locked in a wire cage, her body slick with some dark, sticky substance, as priests gathered around her, claiming she was possessed. It was like something out of a horror film, but this really happened. As the exorcism began, the girl convulsed violently, twisting her body in ways that just didn't look human. Was it possession, fear, or something psychological spiraling out of control? Here's the creepy part. Some believe the priests used fear and manipulation to stage this grim scene. Others swear it was real, that she was truly taken over by something evil. Either way, the truth behind this ritual remains just as unsettling as the act itself. Grinning Dog. Dogs are loyal, sure, but sometimes they're downright unsettling. A guy noticed a dog in his neighbor's yard just sitting there grinning at him. Grinning like something out of a nightmare. Creepy, right? But here's the kicker. His neighbor didn't even own a dog, so where did it come from? The town lit up with whispers of skinwalkers, creatures that shift into animals to lure in victims. That eerie grin? Yeah, not a friendly pooch vibe, more like a warning. Maybe it was just a weird dog, or maybe it was something darker. Either way, when a dog smiles like that, it's probably best to lock your doors and steer clear. CCTV Mystery. A CCTV footage from Bogota, Colombia got people talking about ghosts. At first, it was just unsettling. You see someone moving weirdly, head down, almost fading in and out like they were not fully there. It's creepy, right? Now I know that. CCTV cameras are notorious for glitching. Frames get skipped, things go haywire, and suddenly a normal scene looks paranormal. But this one, it was something else. Some said her old-fashioned clothes were a clue, but honestly, with grainy footage, who could even tell? Yeah, her movements were odd, but maybe she was just having a bad day or didn't like being watched. Tree creature. This guy in Portugal filmed what he claimed was a werewolf lurking in the trees. You can't make this stuff up. The video showed two glowing eyes staring back at him from the darkness, and a figure that seriously looked like something out of a horror movie. Of course, people freaked out, thinking it was a werewolf stalking him, but not everyone was convinced. It could just be fireflies, making it look like glowing eyes. But then there was that hunched over back. It was not a trick of the light. Fireflies don't move like that, so what was really going on there? I don't know, but I sure wouldn't want to find out firsthand. Possessed bicycle. Have you ever seen something that makes you question everything? That's exactly what happened when a group of kids were playing in the park. Out of nowhere, they noticed a bicycle moving on its own, not wobbling or tipping over. No, it glided smoothly across the park as if someone invisible was pedaling it. The kids froze, probably hoping their eyes were playing tricks on them, but nope, that bike just kept going. Freaked out, they bolted from the park, leaving the haunted site behind. Skeptics say it could have been some elaborate remote-controlled prank, but let's be real. Can you explain something that eerie happening perfectly? What are your thoughts on this? Share them in the comments below. Eyes in the ceiling. Imagine walking through your house, minding your business, when you hear a weird noise from above. That's exactly what happened to this girl. Curious and probably a little nervous. She glanced up and froze. Staring back at her through a door wall was a pair of eerie eyes. It didn't look human, and before she could react, the face disappeared into the shadows. Now, here's the thing, was it a ghost keeping an eye on her? Or maybe something darker, waiting for the right moment to make itself known? Some say it was a trick of the light or the house settling. But her fear, that was real. If it were me, I'd be out of there. Ghostly traveler. Man, you ever have those moments when you're driving home late at night and something just freaks you out? That's exactly what happened to this guy in the clip I'm talking about. He was cruising along when out of nowhere, this ghostly figure in all white showed up in the middle of the road. Freaked him out good, I bet. He pulled over, started recording, and watched as the thing calmly walked across the road, then just vanished into the night. Some folks think it was the soul of someone who met a tragic end on that very road, doomed to forever wander. Others say it was just a replay of a past event, a residual haunting stuck in a loop. Either way, man, it was enough to give you the chills. Peekaboo. This was one of those moments that just make you jump. A woman was playing with her kids, totally normal, and then out of nowhere, a dark face peeked from the corner of the door. She noticed it, got all tenses, and picked up her youngest to go see. But as soon as she got near, the thing just vanished, and the door slammed shut with one of her kids still inside. Man, the look on her face must have been priceless. Panic mixed with total fear. Some folks say it was just a shadow spirit, harmless but creepy, while others think it's something far darker lurking in the shadows. Yikes. The unseen farewell. In moments of goodbye, the weird and eerie seemed to slip through the cracks. This footage from a funeral captured something straight out of a horror movie. Over the casket, a strange web-like formation just pulsed, like it was alive or something. And then this curious kid reached out and touched it, and poof, it vanished right into the casket. What was that? Some folks think it was a lost soul, trying to make one last connection with the world. Others wonder if it was some energy caught between realms, seeking peace. Whatever it was, it sure made me think twice about funerals and what's really out there. Freaky stuff. The window spirit. Curiosity can be the gateway to the unknown. Just like this guy in 2023, he was exploring an abandoned building, filming as he went. Then, out of nowhere, this pale, ghostly figure showed up in a window with these long, bony fingers stretching out all weirdly. In a flash, it jumped inside and the camera just went haywire, cutting off abruptly. The guy was okay, but he put the video online, and now we're all left wondering, was it a restless spirit attracted to the living? Maybe a devilish creature lurking in the shadows of forgotten places? Or just some weird entity defending its turf? Whatever it was, it definitely makes you think twice about those creepy abandoned spots. The Vatican Mystery. I never thought one of the holiest places in the world could reveal something like this. In 2019, a video allegedly filmed in the Vatican showed a woman in a plaid dress scaling a wall with one hand while dragging another person by the hair. The unnerving footage set off all kinds of theories about demonic possession, with experts like Catholic miracle researchers drawing connections to ancient exorcism stories. Some argued that the physical feat was beyond normal human capability, even with adrenaline. But then, forensic analysts looked at the shadows and lighting and suggested the video might have been CGI altered. What do you think about it? Creepy, right? Makes you wonder what else could be lurking behind those Vatican walls. The Window Intruder. A man was walking through his hallway late one night when he heard this strange scratching sound coming from the window. He turned, and there it was, a hairless, pale head with big eyes staring back at him. Its skin was ghostly white and its eyes were dark and unblinking. Just as he mustered up the courage to approach, the figure vanished without a trace. Some people believe it was an alien watching him from afar. Others think it could be a ghostly spirit or some kind of malevolent force. Whatever it was, the thought of something like that lurking just outside your window was enough to make anyone shiver. The Forest Shadow. In 2024, a man was passing by a rest house deep in the woods when he spotted something chilling at the window. Peering through the glass was a creature with a bizarre face, its expression twisted and appearance unsettlingly unnatural. The man's heart raced as he tried to make sense of what he was seeing. Was this just a trick of the forest shadows or something otherworldly? This could be a supernatural being trapped between realms or a ghostly figure left behind from another time. Maybe it's a creature unknown to science, lurking in the forest depths. Whatever it was, the sight of it definitely gave the man a reason to pick up the pace on his way out of those woods. Open discussion. This footage was making rounds on the internet and was allegedly retrieved from the infamous mental asylum Royal Hope Hospital in Florida. It showed a lady, but not just any normal one. The appearance was bizarre, with a pale white face color, massive white bulging eyes with no pupil, and those teeth, well, they were downright creepy. The footage itself was disturbing. It was brief, yet gave chills to whoever watched it. Some say it could be a patient caught in a terrifying episode, while others think it was something far darker, a sinister presence caught on camera. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.